I assume you voted against the stimulus, and I'm just curious if you accepted any monies in your district.
No, I'm not one who votes for something and then writes to the government to ask them to send us money. I did not request any stimulus money.
A report came out again today in the AP. It was a repeat of that Wall Street Journal article from a couple of years ago where you had asked for stimulus money for your district. Is that accurate?
No,
Is that report accurate?
I never asked for stimulus. I don't recall that. I haven't seen this report, so I really can't comment on it. I oppose the stimulus because it doesn't work. It didn't work. Look at just the $90 billion in stimulus. And the vice president was in charge of overseeing this. $90 billion in green pork to campaign contributors and special interest groups.
I love my friend here. I'm not allowed to show letters, but go on our website. He sent me 2 letters saying, by the way, can you send me some stimulus money for companies here in the state of Wisconsin? We sent millions of dollars. You know why he said
he did ask for stimulus money?
Sure he
correct?
did. By the way,
on 2 occasions, we advocated for constituents who are applying for grants. That's what we do. We do that for all constituents who are.
Oh, I love that. I love that. This is such a bad program, and he writes me a letter saying, writes the Department of Energy a letter saying, the reason we need this stimulus, it will create growth and jobs. His words. And now he's sitting here looking at me.
There seems to me sometimes a desire on the part of the Romney campaign and an equal desire sometimes among liberals and the Obama campaign to talk about this grand ideological battle about the size of government. That really what we're fighting about the size of government. And there is nothing in the record of the Republican Party to suggest that they will shrink government. It just doesn't, it's not there. You've written about this in your book, Drift, under Reagan. We've seen it under George W. Bush. Government grew as a share of GDP, security spending, even things like Medicare Part D, right? So the question is, who will government benefit? That is the question at issue in the campaign. Do not let yourself, and the reason that hypocrisy is so important, is do not let yourself get suckered into the belief that this is a battle over how big government's going to be. I don't actually think that's what's on the table. What's on the table is, are the poor going to see their Medicaid cut and the Pentagon's going to get $2 trillion, or is the balance going to be in the other direction?
Right.
That is what is on the table.
And it's not just a false debate about the size of government. It's a false debate about whether or not government works. The thing that I thought was important last night about Biden, and the reason that we cut that soundbite as long as we did there so you can hear what Biden says, is that he doesn't just say, you're a hypocrite, you wanted this money. He says, you wanted this money because, as you argued to me, this spending works. It would work in your district. If you believe it would work in your district, how can you argue that it wouldn't work in the country?
And as you argued back in 2002, when you got up in the well of the House and made an impassioned argument for Keynesian stimulus when it was a stimulus plan being put by George W. Bush, and when you voted for $700 billion in stimulus, $700 billion in stimulus, which was the Republican stimulus package that was that was voted on by the Republicans in the House in parallel to the actual Recovery Act. So again, what they want to do now in opposition is create this ideological vision of smaller government, of going after malformed bureaucracies. When they are in power, they do not do that. And no one should be suckered into thinking that they will.